Well, my name is Paula Schieven, and I applied to be a mentor in 2019. And then sure enough, as luck had it, I was approved when the pandemic started. And so I couldn't get in right away. And so that was a little bit of a hold. But yeah, the minute prison opened, masks on and whatnot, I was right there to start. So yeah, it's been 5.5 years-ish. I went from a W-2, like a mentor role, to the coordinator at FBI. So I'm the one responsible for letting my 18 volunteers in on Thursday nights and making sure that they have the right matches and that's all goes seamlessly on those evenings. I signed up and I was all ready, went through the training, and everything seemed like, oh yeah, I can do this. But the closer the date loomed for me going in, oh gosh, I was terrified. And I thought, what am I doing? All of a sudden you just think of barbed wire and fences and doors, and am I going to be claustrophobic? Are these women am I going to see them and they're going to be so scary? And oh gosh, it was definitely, yeah, I got scared. I will admit, I got cold feet. There was a photo shoot for the MTW2 flyers, and sure enough, I was invited. I figured, you know what, honesty is the best policy. So I just said to them, hey, I'm going in next week, Thursday, and I am so nervous. I'm so scared. I don't know what to expect. And these ladies completely just put my mind at ease, and they were like, no, there's nothing to be worried about, and this is how it goes. And it just felt the information I got from them felt very practical, and that just helped a lot. They all wear, the ladies at Fraser Valley Institution, they wear regular clothes, so they're not in orange suits or striped suits or whatever I was thinking. And that when you come in, you really, unless you get to know the W-2s and you get to know the mentors, you really don't know who's the prisoner and who's the mentor for a while. And sure enough, that was totally true. And that it was in a gym setting, so it was not like a scary room with doors locked and guards everywhere. And so yeah, everything they told me was exactly how it was. So that was so lovely. Just to be there for them because now I've been a coordinator for 2 years, and now that I've done this for this long, I think now the most important thing that it's not even a guess, the fact that we show up every 2 weeks, that we're consistently there for them. And I think that that's the most important thing, because they've been let down, they've been disappointed, they've been abandoned, they have had their trust broken. And I think the fact that we show up, so it's a one-on-one mentorship at Fraser Valley Institution. So that's the W-2 and their match every 2 weeks. They're just together. I think it's beyond amazing. I always say to the girls who I interview who want a W-2, I always say, you're in the driver's seat. If you want to talk for 2 hours straight, we will be there for 2 hours to listen to you. But if you want to play a game for 2 hours, we will play a game. So you also have to be flexible as a mentor. You have to be able to listen for 2 hours. And when they're ranting about the whole prison system and the guards and the warden, and it's exhausting to sit across from somebody for 2 hours ranting about that. It is exhausting. But also, my mentee for the longest time wanted to play Scrabble. I hate Scrabble, with a passion. But I played Scrabble. If that's what she wants to do, then that's what I'll do. But yeah, so I think my own match, in the beginning, she would not show up. So I show up, so you go through, 6, 7 doors, gates, whatnot, and it's a whole process. So finally I'm there, and I'm waiting, and 20 minutes later, she is not showing up. So I go home. And then 2 weeks later, she shows up, and she leaves 20 minutes later because she hasn't eaten, or she's tired, she has a headache, whatever the excuse is, and she leaves. Or she shows up 20 minutes late and she still leaves her. It was a circus. And the coordinator at that point, it said to me, hey, shall we look for another match? Because you are so consistent and you have never missed a date, and she's just not doing this. And for whatever reason, I said, you know what? No, I want to stick with her. Just give me some more time. And I kept showing up. And at one point, this match sat across from me, and she has a life sentence. And she said, do you realize that I have no white friends? And she's Indigenous. And I looked at her and I said, wow. I said, you're in luck. I said, not only am I white, I'm also not Canadian. I'm an immigrant. And I think that just me completely just shooting that back at her, I think that completely just broke the ice. And I said, well, I'm here for you for it. Like, yes, I'm your first white friend. I said, gosh, you're my first Indigenous inmate. I said, let's go for there. Let's bring it on. And I think that moment just broke the ice. And since then, she shows up. Many times she's already waiting for me when we come into the gym. And I've been to her parole hearing. And so, yeah, this is definitely a person that I hope to be in touch with for the rest of her life when she gets out. And yeah, it's amazing. This is so transformative. And she went from an angry, absent person to now somebody who's definitely trying anything and everything to better herself and to get out of prison. That's a hard question because, of course, I had never been in prison before I joined MTW2. So that's a really hard question too. I think, like I said, before I went in, I was definitely like, oh my gosh, do these women look scary? Are they scary? Are they going to threaten me? Is it like, how safe am I going in? And I think going in with MTW2, knowing that the organization has been there for 65 years and nothing has ever happened. So yeah, I think that kind of changed my vision of prisoners. And I think that's, for me, also really lovely to mention to my friends who don't prison mentor. Now it's no longer I'm visiting prisoners. We're just visiting our mentees. And I think that's a huge difference. Like, you don't see them as inmates. You see them as she's my mentee. They are my mentees. I think for them, because after prison, they go to halfway houses. And I've also been in touch with the girls that have moved into halfway houses. And once one of those girls said to me, it's really hard to be out because people see that I'm a former prisoner. And I looked at her and I said, well, how? And she said, well, they just see it. And I thought, okay, well, that's interesting because I don't see it. And she was like, well, they do. They need that person in their lives that doesn't go to prison. But like I said, we don't see them as prisoners. We just see them as our mentees. We just go there. We play cards. We talk about our day. We talk about recipes. We talk about our families. And I think that they just need that because then at least when they get out, they have the feeling that not the whole world sees them as prisoners because we have given that example because we don't. It's beautiful to be there in the different stages of a prisoner's life, and you can pick and choose what you want to be a part of. And I think that that's one of the beauties of MTW2 is that they will work with you to make mentoring or make volunteering for MTW just a great experience. And I think that that's very amazing.